Well, for decades, George Pelecanos had made Washington more than just a backdrop. It's become one of the main characters in his many novels. So the best-selling prolific author is back now with a new thriller, of course, set in the district. Author, producer, and TV writer George Pelecanos joins us now to talk about his new book and why DC continues to inspire his work. It is an honor and a pleasure to speak with you. Let's get this out of the way. I'm a big fan. Thanks for all your work.
Appreciate that. Love
Absolutely.
hearing it.
Absolutely. So your latest novel, it's entitled The Blue Flame, and it brings back a fan favorite in P.I. Derek Strange. So what can readers expect?
Well, it's the sixth Derek Strange novel in the last 26 years. And when we met him in Hard Revolution, he was 12 years old, and now he's into his 70s. So what I've done is I've aged him appropriately. And, the intention from the beginning was always to describe a Washingtonian's life from childhood to his sunset years. And that's what it is. But he is still robust and he's still on the job. And he's working a couple murder cases in this book with alongside the DC homicide branch, which I embedded myself with and had the privilege of working with them on the research of this novel.
You've penned some 24 novels, correct me if I'm wrong there, all set in and around the DMV. What is it about this space, this is your hometown, that still keeps you writing about it and the people?
I'm always inspired, and it goes back to my childhood. My dad was born in Greece. My grandparents came from Greece, and they didn't just love America, they specifically loved and were proud of being Washingtonians. And they talked about it all the time. And that love sort of bled into me. And then when I was a kid, at 11 years old, in the summer of 1968, I started working at my dad's diner, delivering food on foot to the offices around in downtown DC. And it was right after the 68 riots, and it was in the middle of, a lot of turbulence in the city. But for a kid, that's really exciting. And it got me jacked up to write about it someday. I knew then I was going to be a writer.
That's incredible as a middle schooler.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was in sixth grade. Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. And look, so it's mainly DC, but we got to hit on this too because The Wire. This is one of those shows that people still talk about it like it's on HBO right now. You were a writer producer on that groundbreaking series. What did you take away from that experience? How different is it? Because as you know, the DMV and Baltimore, two very different places.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's 45 minutes away and it's a completely different culture. And you're familiar with Amon Glover. He was on the show as Slim Charles. I was sitting with him one night in Baltimore, and in the middle of the night, we were watching these girls walk by us, and they were just different than Washington girls, and he said the people up here are mysterious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but it's equally interesting. Baltimore is a really cool place, and I got a lot out of it. And I think I became a better writer after writing for television because it made me more disciplined and kept the books leaner. And I think it helped me out quite a bit on all fronts.
Well, if that's the case, then we are so grateful to your time spent there as your work continues with this latest novel that is out right now. Hey, promise you'll come and see us in studio one day real soon.
I'd love to.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. The invitation stands. That's author George Pelecanos. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.